Here on 88.1 FM WYCE, but first want to remind you that The Ruse and WYCE present Costumes and Cosplay. Friday, November 1st, dress up as your favorite, most contest-winning worthy character at The Ruse Escape Room for the Costumes and Cosplay event. 50% of all proceeds will benefit WYCE. Book online for the indoor or outdoor escape, and WYCE will judge and announce best costume winner on the night of the event. This event will take place rain or shine. Winner of the best costume will receive a prize pack from WYCE. And the Costumes and Cosplay event Friday, November 1st is from 4 to 10 p.m. at the Ruse Escape Room. More information at the-ruse.com. That's the-ruse.com. All right, I'm really excited to have in studio with me now Mr. Kyle Rasche. Welcome to the studio again, as a matter of fact.
Thank you for having me.
You've been in here before, but it's been well over a year since I think we've had you in studio.
It's been, yeah. Yep. In and In came out almost a year ago. So it's been, just a little before that.
Awesome. So Kyle, actually, let's start by explaining what happened last week. It all started Wednesday when I went to the Listening Room's brand new soft opening of an event there, and it was to kind of host all the people that were coming out to Farm, which is the Folk Alliance Regional Midwest Conference. Yep. They had a showcase of some artists, but first they had a little open mic segment for about an hour or two there. And you actually came out to play at that open mic, and then a couple of the other open mics during the weekend as well. Yep.
I actually didn't come out to play. I got a text from Josh Rose, who I was performing with this weekend, and I was like, "Can I get into that listening room thing? I totally wanted to check out the room and everything." He's like, "Yeah, you can get down here. I got to get down here by 8 or something like that." So I cruised on down, and then I literally this was like the coolest story for someone walking into that venue for the first time, because it's not marked very well, and I was kind of looking for it, and I opened a door thinking it was maybe going to be like a stairway, and it was this quiet, perfect listening room. And
it was beautiful.
And Nick James, a good friend of mine, was hosting the open mic, and one of the gentlemen that was on stage just finished up, and Nick came up and was like, "Hey, our last performer is from Grand Rapids. He writes for Chain of Lakes." And I'm like, "All right." And he let me play his guitar, so it was kind of a cool way to see a really, really, really neat new venue in town.
It was. And then it just kind of exploded from there. From that, we went to the Crown Plaza, which is where the conference was being held, and on Thursday. And I got to actually have a showcase, or bring in an artist for the showcase, the DJ showcase on Thursday evening. And I brought in Aspen Jacobson, who's a up-and-coming young artist, and I was very excited to be able to highlight her.
So good.
And then that went on, and then I thought, okay, well, this is just going to be, a conference with, workshops and whatnot. But it went from that to the salons, where there were seating for about 20 or 30 people, with about 3 to 6 different artists playing throughout that time frame. Then when that was done, it moved on to the private rooms, which they set up as venues. And so I was walking up and down this hallway with just hundreds of musicians, and I was able to see so many people playing live in an intimate setting in such a small amount of time. It was mind-boggling.
And everyone was equally enthusiastic to be there, from the people who took such time to set up all of those rooms to be these incredible listening environments, to the people who were just thrilled to be there watching, which was me for a lot of it.
Yes.
I mean, we were looking back, Josh and I played 5 showcases, and I felt like I probably
amazing.
went to 35 shows, really.
Right.
And everyone was so attentive. You can't get a more respectful audience than people who are about to play that want a respectful audience,
It was kind of like speed dating for musicians, though, in my opinion, because it was, for the media people like me, because it was just like ping-ponging from room to room to see these folks, and there's no way I would have been able to see these people live without being able to do something like that.
Well, and just geographical,
kudos.
People were from all over the place.
Well, before we chat way too much, which I feel like we're doing right now, why don't we get right into a song?
Cool.
And then we'll talk a little bit more about this. This is Kyle Rasche here on 88.1 FM WYCE.
So I'll make tea, you make me be careful with kids that once cared, still off sightseeing. We promised all our lots for an anthill, and borrowed in handfuls for all kinds of things. Will we still be here in 10 more years? still dressing all the dawns in our shell. Will they still say we hadn't made? Watching us break our backs, making it ourselves. The garden wall and all that we planted and turned up by hand did give a reason here. And we're counting off the dawns in our gauntlet that keeps spinning on till, oh, dizzy dear, we'll still be here in 10 more years, still blowing dust off books on these shelves, while they still say we hadn't made. We'll just stop and keep making it ourselves. Making it ourselves. Yeah, we're making it ourselves.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
You're listening to Kyle Rasche here on 88.1 FM WYCE. I almost said Josh Rose because we were going to talk about him a little bit.
We have to talk about Rose.
You did play quite a few showcases with him this weekend.
Yeah.
And I've been in the same circles with Josh for a while, and I've never been able to catch him live.
No?
Until this weekend. And now I am a new fan.
Oh, he's great.
He is fantastic.
Yeah, he's got an uncanny ability to weave a story into music. He's a much better musician than even he gives himself credit for. Because if you ask Josh, I'm a poet. He's a writer. He's a storyteller. But the guy writes intricate guitar parts. He writes very accessible melodies. And he's getting better and better and better. And he's super prolific. It's a treasure to play with him. You know, it's almost like get out of the way, throw some harmonies in. There's not a lot to dress up with Josh. As far as accompaniment is concerned, he's got a lot of it handled, but it's a really good fit for me just because I have a soft voice. I love singing harmonies. It's definitely my forte. So,
and you guys were fantastic together. So hopefully we get some recordings of the two of you guys doing it.
Yeah, we'd love it. We're talking about it.
Get you in here sometime together for another interview. Sometime would be kind of fun too.
That'd be great. No, he's become a very, very dear friend. Our families are good friends. Our daughters hang out, and so. It's a good fit for sure.
And I do have his album in the CD player right now. It's queued up next. After we're done with this interview, we're going to be playing one of those songs.
Oh, nice! I heard you say you're going to play Dinosaur.
I'm going to play Dinosaur. Yeah. Absolutely.
That album was recorded right across the street.
Right across the street from here.
Colonel Crittenden at the Mackinac Harvest. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I was not a part of that album being made. I literally came on board for that release show at Wealthy Theater, which would have been almost 3 years ago now. So.
Yeah, we do some really great stuff at Wealthy Theater.
Oh, it's such a good place. And the listening room now is that section of Grand Rapids now has
it's a beautiful
every kind
thing.
of venue.
I can't wait to see all the new artists that are going to be coming through there.
I know. It's a cool room.
Well, one thing we talked about a little bit right before we started the interview was we were talking about the fact that what was really amazing about this past weekend was the collaboration and the people coming together and working together on some stuff.
Yeah.
And after those private showcases were done at 2:00 in the morning, there were actual those main showcase rooms that were opened up for people to come in and jam in. So there were jams of groups of artists in different rooms until 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So the sun was coming up every night for me.
Yeah,
and it was
you braved
great.
it out a little bit later than I did. I had to get home for the kiddos, but I definitely got to see.
Well, you were there for a little bit for the beginnings of some of those jam sessions.
I saw a bunch of it. It was impossible to leave if you had an instrument case and you were trying to get out of that hallway. You were going to get lured in by the sounds or someone wanting to play.
It was so many professional musicians in one room of different groups, different bands that had all come together and jammed together on either some of their own songs or songs that we all knew. Mm-hmm. And it was really great. The best part was that when I was walking away finally, I run across Ordinary Elephant, and I believe some of the Dangling Participle and a couple of other group people crammed into the coat closet area.
Oh,
actually,
really?
At the very end of it, they were just, because they loved the harmonies in that little closed space,
yeah.
and so it was just one of those wow moments for me.
That's cool. I used to play in a band that was very vocal heavy. We loved the vocal harmonies, and we couldn't pass a stairwell. Stairwells are wonderful for acoustics, so we would always pull out a guitar and sing in the stairwells whenever we got a chance to. Your stairwell here is actually very acoustic.
We've actually done a few recordings of there, and it's a lot of fun.
It's cool.
Well, as I said, this is Kyle Rasche here on 88.1 FM WYCE, and this is our open mic segment, and we're just chatting away, talking a little bit about the Folk Alliance Regional Midwest Conference that we just went to this past weekend. And I believe he's got a couple more songs, at least, for us.
Sure.
What you got next here for us, Kyle?
This is the next one that was on the last Chain of Lakes record that we put out, called In and In, just this last year. And this one's right up the middle. This is a good old heartbreaking country song. So it's called Sackcloth and Ashes. To the automated lady, placing awful morning calls. Tell her I made a mess of this, and that I wouldn't blame her if she doesn't want to talk. I just need her to know that I won't be coming straight home, 'cause I wasn't thinking about her or us. It was just me and my old selfish ways. I fell straight off the wagon and under the bus. Those bright nights breed dark, dark days. Now I'm in sackcloth and ashes, and I'm willing to be. Oh, till her sweetheart finds forgiveness for me. When you hear her voice trembling, asking if I'm okay, tell her I finally see clear as day, and that I wouldn't blame her if she doesn't want to stay. But I just need her to know I'll claw my whole way home, and I can't stop thinking about her and us. Oh, believe me, I've counted the ways she fell for me and crash landed. Now I'll help her up. She might like these changes I've made. I'm here in sackcloth and ashes, and I'll wait patiently. Oh, till her sweetheart finds forgiveness for me. Oh, till her sweetheart finds forgiveness.
Woo! I always want to clap or something. It's just so
Woo,
silent
works
in
good.
here. But I love it. That was beautiful.
Thank you very much.
You bring tears to my eyes on occasion when you sing. Not gonna lie.
Hopefully it's a good thing.
Oh, that's a good thing. That's an absolutely good thing.
That's very nice of you to say. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. So let's talk a little about Kyle Rasche.
Rasche.
Rasche?
You have to say my name right.
Thank you. You could have told me that like an hour ago.
I don't know why I didn't. No one's. It's usually,
Rasche.
they're calling me Chain of Lakes, or or I'm just in Josh's band.
That was one of the things that we brought up this weekend during one of the panel discussions for DJs was, please send your pronunciation of your name along with your CD.
That was a very informative session for me, and a lot of it, just how obvious many of those suggestions are.
That people just overlook.
Or just never apply any critical thought. You make this. I mean, the point of making records is to have something to distribute, and not making it easy for somebody to identify you or give credit where it's due to your fellow musicians and such. It seems like such a logical thing. If you go into any marketing boardroom ever, those are like not even mentionable. But I feel like when your music is such an artistic pursuit. I think the peril for a lot of it is that there is a marketing element and there is a sales element to trying to get your name out there. And people like me that just, if I have time to devote to music, I'm making something up. I want to be with an instrument in hand singing and all that stuff. But there's people like Nick, James, who get it together and actually and make sure that their product is crisp and distributable,
right.
And they're the people who kind of rise to the top. So that was eye-opening for me. And that was a really nice panel that you guys put on that day too. I thought that was really helpful.
Thanks. We had a great time doing it too.
Yeah. Are those all your friends? Like, do you know all those people that
No,
do,
a lot
do
of them
what
I
you
had
do?
just met for the first time, and they've been in the industry for quite a long time. What we're talking about right now is a DJ panel discussion that happened this past weekend. And we all got together and we shared some information and some ideas, and I learned so much this weekend.
Yeah.
Not just about that, but about our role as in the media here of what we do. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty amazing. But
it was a really cool come together of all of the different people involved and the fact that it was so focused on traditional music and folk music. It was just.
But what was really interesting is that it wasn't just traditional and folk music. It was a full conference, but some of the artists that came out, there was some jazz, there was some
blues.
world music, there was some blues.
Yeah.
So it was kind of on the edge of folk, but it's traditional music, and I think that was what it was really focused around.
Exactly. It all kind of distilled down to the songs.
Yeah.
Which is
you can bet I'll be going to another one for sure.
Oh my gosh, I was so.
Again,
so
Kyle Rasche here in studio with me, and tell people where they can find you or find your music.
My music is online, the traditional digital outlets. I have some CDs left, but most of it is digital these days. And
as a solo artist or as Chain of Lakes?
It's called Chain of Lakes is the name of my band. Mm-hmm. I called it that basically because of the whole last name thing. It's just not a very phonetic last name. So, yes. We've been making music in Grand Rapids since I moved here 10 years ago. And then, it's kind of become a full band project. And I'm actually, that band's kind of coming to a close now with the departure of my bass player, best friend, co-writer, Matt Churchill's moving to Nashville. So,
well, congrats to him.
I know.
It's sad for the rest of us.
Well, yeah, it's a huge loss for our community, but he's just. I mean, he's got to go.
He's going places.
He's so good.
Spread those wings, buddy.
Let him go. I'm really, really, really proud of him. But it's just not going to be Chain of Lakes without.
He'll come
Matt.
visit. You know he will.
So, we'll probably, knowing our day and age, we'll probably talk more now because we don't. Yeah.
Plus, maybe there'll be some collaborating going back and forth between Nashville and here, which is already happening.
There's no way. There's no way there won't be. So this kind of weekend was kind of perfect for that too, because I'm kind of evaluating the next steps and what's the output going to look like, and very motivated to just kind of put together some songs with my guitar. And
I was going to say, I can see you doing a solo project.
Get 'em
I
out
can
there.
totally see that.
Yeah, I think that's probably what's next.
And doing some stuff with Josh then?
Oh, I'll keep playing with Rose for sure. Yeah, he's unless he kicks me out. I keep telling him he's got to find a better guitar player. But I'll keep singing with him for sure. I think we're getting ready to get in the studio. We're going to work with the the Willow Song Music Festival?
I do.
Those guys have a production company called Good Old Days Audio Production, I think it's called, and they have a nice studio that they just built, and I think Kevin Fine is engineering producing, and Eric Raby is engineering producing, so I think both of us are probably going to make records there in the next year, so that'll be kind of cool.
Well, let's get another song out of here.
Another song?
One more song, at least one more song. This is Kyle Rasche here on 88.1 FM WYCE. You're listening to our open mic segment.
This is a brand new song. It's yet to be named, I guess. Oh, there's more to find at lower tide, when the moon has swept the seas aside. On the bottom there, the treasure's bare, where depths of hell the mageless there. When our tired eyes finally meet, and the day has called our quiet peace, oh, I'll frisk the night and find your hand, my pearl there in the dampened sand. There's a swing beneath the willow, there's a cool side of the pillow, there's an artist folding all this on a wheel. But home is not a statue, it's an evolving work of art. For me, my darling, you are where it starts. So love, it changes as it goes. On the wind it's written as it blows. Oh, crashes waves and soars the kites. Is chaos curled in sacred flight. There's a front yard swinging tire, there's a hearth over the fire, there's an artist calming all the water here. But home is not a harbor, no, it's a river through the heart. For me, my darling, you are where it starts. Every frame here dangling in the foyer, from these walls we've raised of wood and brick and mortar, just portraits in the sand, still our home is where we stand. There's a candle in the window, there's a light that shows the safe road, there's an artist folding all this into one. Love's not a fragment, no, it's the sum of every part. For me, my darling, you start. For me, my darling, you are where it starts.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
And you wrote that for your wife, didn't you?
Wouldn't it be weird if I said no right now? Yeah,
I knew the answer to that.
I wrote that song on Mother's Day this year.
Can we tell them the rest of the story just a little bit?
Oh, this is the least romantic story you could ever tell about us writing a song. So I always stay up much later. And so my wife, Amanda, the mother of my beautiful children, and my best friend, so she goes to bed. And so I'm on a couch. I couldn't have been more than if you drew a straight line from me to where she was laying, it was probably 20 feet, maybe. She was obviously in the bedroom. I'm out on the couch. And I kind of wrote that song, and I was like, oh, man, I can't forget that. So I threw it on my phone, just in the voice memos, and I played it in there. And instead of going into our bedroom and sitting next to her and playing her this wonderful song on Mother's Day. I texted it to her. I'm like
12 feet away.
Literally, just what a waste. And so she comes out like 10 minutes later, and she's like kind of holding her phone, and she's looking at me. She's like, "Really, really?" She loved it. She has a great sense of humor. And she was just making
shout out to all the supporting ladies
You need
out
to
there.
work on your presentation there, Kyle. But,
all right.
Yeah, so she did.
All right, I think we got time to squeeze one more song out. We're going to go out on it, but I'm going to say thank you first to Jess for running the board for me, and thank you so much to Shane for running the board for me. This is Kyle Rasche. One last song here on our open mic segment for 88.1 FM WYCE.
Thank you, Laura, for having me.
Oh, child, listen to your heart. Go on, chase that lightning. Go harness every spark. But it preys upon the grounded, so spread your wings and fly. Don't wrestle regret, just learn from a peace of mind. Hey kid, you hold your head up high, but you won't always be winning, so be gracious as you try. For the kind and humble-hearted always have folks on their side. Don't swallow that pride, just learn from a peace of mind. Young man, you treat that woman right. That's someone's perfect daughter. It's the light of someone's eye. Someday it may be your girl. You beg the world to treat so kind. Don't build your own guilt, just learn from a peace of mind. Hey brother, just cherish every day. It's the same good Lord who gave it is the one who takes away. So don't fall for one hard truth, 'cause no one knows it till they die. Just pray God loves the humble and sleep with some peace. God loves the humble, so sleep with some peace. God loves the humble, so sleep with some peace of mind.
This has been our open mic segment here on 88.1 FM WYCE with Kyle Rasche. We're going to get right back into the music with a little Josh Rose off of his brand new album. This is Dinosaur.
Thanks again.